Hey, it's Nelson here, and I'm just going to go through my process of developing backlog items before I start developing. Now, I don't normally do this on video, so if I don't end up speaking an awful lot, then apologies. So, I have already started off the board by changing the background. What other image is more fitting than a big puffin for an infinite runner game? And I've put one column here with just the design goal so that I can always see it. My goal for this game is to create an aesthetic infinite runner where the player can jump high or float, and float. I've got the basic setup a la Kanban, and I'll have all my backlog items here, which I'm going to fill out. The doing column, which is what well, it's an ongoing task really. And the things that are done. I've restricted the scope down to an infinite runner with a single mechanic, and that's kind of tied in with determining the type of the game and the vision for it, which is right here. Right, considering the way the game looks now, I'm just going to work on a minimum viable product, which means no images, no animations. What I'm going to do is nail the gameplay and make sure that's fun. So what I need is to um, have moving platforms that are procedurally generated. Okay, and these don't even need to have collision detection with the player at the moment. I just want to animate or move the platforms across the screen as if they were coming toward the player or as if the player was running toward them, right? So let me put that in the description. This does not include collision detection. It is simply moving the platforms from right to left and varying the positions and sizes, right? The next part will be actually creating the collision detection. Collision detection between player and the platforms. Right, and tied in with that is obviously the death state. Right, so in order for us to have meaningful collision detection, we have to have a death state. And tied in with that is also a restart loop, right? So death state, um, as a player, when I want to know when I have died, right? So when we reach this, right, so we pretty much need to have a state that we reach when the collision detection doesn't occur. Restart loop. Um, as a player, I want to be able to restart the game after I die, easily after I die. Right, so we build in this little loop where we die and then restart the game. And then it'll make sense to put in some collision detection. As a player, I want to land on platforms and not fall through. Good. Um, that's essentially the core loop built. But considering I do want to build something with the floating and the high jumping in, I'm going to put in a double jump mechanic, which is essentially, let me flesh that out. As a player, I want to be able to double jump and also float when I press and hold the screen down with a finger. Um, yeah, I have to admit here that I was inspired by this part of the game from Journey. I only recently played that on the PS4, and yeah, it's a great game, great aesthetics and excellent visuals. The gameplay is also very simple. Not something that I would personally play for hours on end, but yeah, the way you can jump and kind of float down, uh, that's kind of inspired this double jump mechanic. Um, I will label this though as not essential. I think the minimum viable product is the four tickets above there should have. Let's go. Must have. So mark that as should have, and these three as must have. I can change these colors around later. Some people go red, orange, green, and this time I'm going green, orange, red. Okay. Um, that's the minimum viable product. I can fill up this backlog with other things such as the images, the animations, the different um, parallel backgrounds or parallax backgrounds that I want to put in there, as well as a title screen and screen transitions, adverts, etc., etc. But for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. I think this is a nice enough or a small enough piece of work um, that I can deliver that in the next few days. After I run out of tickets there, I'll fill it up again. All right, and that's my process for creating items in my backlog. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please post them below. Really interested to see what other people do for their process. Um, and what do you do when you're developing your game? Do you use some kind of productivity tool like this? And do you go through a process where you define your pieces of work before you go through it? Curious to see what you've got. Anyhow, that's it from me. Till next time, see you later.